everybody doing tonight? Listen, this is something new to me, so you guys got to bear with me. There's going to be some technical difficulties. There's going to be some voice changes. There's going to be some ups and downs, but essentially we're going to get to what we need to talk about and what's important. This is a test. Keep your ears open. And remember to focus. Try and listen. Listen with an open mind. Never mind what I look like. Never mind how much money I make. Never mind what I'm doing. Never mind any of that, man. It's not important. Really try to listen to what I'm trying to say here. I don't know what the importance to you is in regards to humanity and what's after this and what this is even for, this life that we live. Me being a black man, living in the state of Colorado, looking at that just really makes me wonder what everybody else thinks, What's everyone else's perception on dignity and how we treat one another, regardless of their color of their skin? What is the purpose of living? Everyone has one. Are you attached to a string that you're controlled by? I've been in that predicament, addiction to drugs, But I tell you what, man, there's a lot more to what we're doing, what we're listening to, and what we're watching. There's a lot more to it. We'd only be stupid and naive and insane, most of us, to continue down the same road, searching for results, doing the same thing. I think by now everyone knows the definition of insanity. Most of us just don't give a fuck. We don't mind being insane. And that's insane, pure at its core, And especially being an American, we just don't give a shit sometime about insanity, and we just welcome it, you know what I mean? It's like, fuck yeah, woohoo, jumping off that bridge and screaming with the I love you finger sign, the three fingers up. Woo, fuck yeah. And this is the jump, it's like being at that hole of water where there's these levels of jumps, and there's that jump up there that says death, and there's this one dude that does it. He's had a lot of beer. I don't care if he's white, and most of the time he's white, but there's black dudes out there too, black Americans that do it too, It's that insanity of the jump is called death, and I've had beer, I don't give a fuck, I'm jumping. That's just what it is. And then we were able to gain our limits from there. We're able to gain and understand what our limits are, because before nobody would even try it, but old Johnny or old Tyrone, they're going to attempt it. You never really hear about too many other ethnicities jumping off of high-ass jumps like that, unless it's like some Red Bull competition, right? And it's out of a different country. I'm talking about just deep here in America, like, insanity is the norm. What is the intellectual perception of the average citizen in America? We'll apply that and maybe even verse or multiply, subtract that versus the world. America's influences, they are strong and they run far. We influence the world. So with our influence in the world, if we come up with a number of understanding that the average motherfucker that just don't care and has that life is lived by insanity, we'll find out what the rest of the world is doing too, because like we said, we influence the world, and that's just what it is. We can look at what's leading that influence in visuality, as far as culture even, nation, black, white, Hispanic. But then we're only keeping this pie within inside America. So that's what we're doing now. This is our first ever podcast conversation. We're going to be able to take this idea of, we want to figure out how stupid America truly is. And I don't mean like stupid, like walking to a wall stupid, but I mean into the terms of living life to its fullest, repeating insanity things because of passion, emotion, or just because they're in the mood, they've had too many beers and want to allow their ego to push them to the depth, the jump of death. That insanity. We've got a big pie on the United States right now. If you can visualize it, it's a big old pie. We want to run a line through it. We want to percentage-wise, and this is going to be data that we all collect, and we're able to make it. We're all making our own agreement on what we can do with this data. So let's be all in on this. Let's put this line, this big old pie on America. Let's take it back too. Let's go back with it. Let's start from an area of, and can be the question: what the hell is the United States of America? What is USA? What is America? What is America? Now, this is my first podcast. I don't know if I should pause and write on about this. I'll probably go back and edit it and chop it up. But I might be a one-take Tony. One-take Tony in the house. I need to add some ad-libs behind one-take Tony. Like that Kevin Hart. Exactly. Maybe I can do something like that behind one-take Tony. Back on topic. We really want to figure out what the fuck America is. And pardon my French, though, young listeners. I mean, this is a part of me. This is the zone I'm in. Tomorrow you'll probably hear me with no curse words, and I'll tell you for the most part there'll be something to jump out. But it's coming from passion and love. It's not coming from hate and aggression. It might have a little bit of aggression behind it, baby, depending on who's listening. But honestly, let's talk about that. What does America look like? Like, we take it back in time as far as history can take us, as far in terms of school education. It's everyday changing. I mean, you really don't know where to start and where to end in terms of teaching history. And so I understand why some people's history is going to be different from others. But with this growing thing of the internet, we're able to go ahead and look a little bit deeper than what we're taught in school. And that's what I've been able to do as an adult. Wondering where I've come from, what are my cultural roots, and why things like this, and why are smells like that, and why are cravings like this. You know, it's all different when it comes down to different race and culture. We are tweaked a little bit different in terms of we're all the same, but there's a one little bit of portion in that DNA that made our colors different. Basically, that's all it is. When you look at it on a nutshell, we have been processed, but at the last second possible, there has been a change of DNA causing us to be a male or female, black, white, and that's what I believe the original start of this continuum of nationality and race started from that point of random. I think that's probably the only random there is. Everything else reason to me now. That's probably the only random there is at one point. But anyways, back on topic. So we're a different color, man, and there's a lot of different nations here. Today is, what is today's date? It's morning now. Tuesday, July 16th. So, yesterday, Monday, July 15th, there was, big raves, and this is 2019. There was big raves about Trump being racist and some of the comments he made in regards to certain women of the Democratic Party. And I've looked at that, and there may be some things in there that he shouldn't have said, but ultimately we're in a place now where we've been able to establish what America is enough to where our president's able to say, if you don't like it, you can leave. So in his mind, our president knows what America is, and they don't fit it if they're complaining. If there's a comment that they have made that he feels like he needs to make the statement of, you don't like it, you can leave, then they're obviously going against what his makeup of America is. I wonder what Donald Trump's makeup of America is. Let's go ahead and leave off on that thought. And I think that's a question we need to be able to bring into our time when it's time to vote. And any time that you vote, whether it be local or whatnot, what does their outlook of America look like? Compare it with yours. I have an outlook of America, and I'm going to share it with you. But moving forward, man, let's try to adapt and agree. Until we finish this pie that we have sitting on America, let's not forget about that. We're going to break down America. I'm talking from, the individual that's incarcerated to the individual that, has to do what they have to do for money, to the gang, to the lawyer, to the who knows? Maybe one day we can get President Trump, to make a little comment on the conversation. But this is something that I don't think that you can ever really get off topic of, because there's so many people that have to share a perception of it. And I think moving forward in 20 years from now, the more people that we have involved in sharing their perception on what America is, the better outcome that we can project as far as trends. We're all on the same page, So I'm gonna sign off on that. We're gonna pick up though where we leave off, and what is America? We've got a pie on America. We need to know what categories we're gonna break this into. We're gonna know what we're looking for in the outcome. But first, think about what America is to you. Think about the people that you're going to vote for, you have voted for, and in the future will vote for, what their perception of is America to you. See where those values align, man, and maybe we can get on track and sustain some of these bad, terrible, tragic, horrifying projections that we have here in the future with climate change and potential currency reset. And it's not fear porn here that I'm speaking on, but it's complete truth, and there's a lot of shit to prepare for, and we in the heat, the power circle.